as you can see, I have had a lot of sun recently and I'm back outside. Nobody's here. Let's see how long that lasts because I just really want to film outdoors with this view because our Airbnb is just white walls. Like there's nothing nice there. I'll probably have to film there at some point because there's no way I get lucky like every single day with nobody being here. I'm trying to get a nice background as often as I can. So now I'm facing in a different direction than last time, not looking out over the ocean just because of where the sun's hitting right now. I don't want to boil and burn directly in the sunlight because it's like UV 6 right now. It's crazy. Yeah, you can tell like I got this tan. I've been having fun. I've been having a lot of fun. And I brought myself a mocha cinnamon latte, aka coffee with a little bit of cinnamon and chocolate milk and ice. So it's actually pretty good. And I'm ready to talk about books. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Sherry and I'm obsessed with books. So I made this channel so I could just blab about books all day. Thanks for joining me. So this book came highly recommended. I mean, I've heard of it multiple times and I've been traveling for a year and a half and I've seen it in bookstores all around the world, translated into different languages. So I've heard of it a fair amount. So I got excited and I assumed it would be good. But if you watch the video I just posted, then you know that's not necessarily true. Like, popular things don't make them good automatically. But I don't know if I'll ever stop believing it. When so many people are so obsessed with something, it's hard to really tell yourself, oh, it's just mass delusion. No, it's gotta have some good to it. And then you read it and you're just like, nah. But the other thing that got me into this book specifically was finding it in audiobook format on Spotify. Just for free. I didn't have to wait at the library. I didn't have to think about it. It was just in front of my face and I recognized it. Name recognition is super important because I saw a couple of them, but then I saw Caraval and I was like, oh, I know that book. I should listen to this. I know I've been super into audiobooks recently because I can literally do so much while I'm consuming the book. Like laundry, dishes, cooking, driving. Well, not the driver exactly, but like the passenger, because it's really hard for me to read in a moving vehicle. I used to be like way less into them, but like something recently has me reaching for my AirPods instead of my Kindle. I know, it's crazy. Anyways, back to Caraval. Like I said, name recognition is super important. I didn't know anything about the book, but I knew it was something that people spoke about. It was a book that was on a lot of people's TBR lists. It was something that people wanted to read and that people loved and highly recommended. And maybe that was my first mistake, not looking into it for myself, but sometimes you don't want to look into every single book. You just want a couple people to tell you that they loved it and you to be like, all right, let's give it a try. I love filming outside. I just saw another butterfly. Nice. It's funny because I showed this in my last video, but I literally got this on X. Someone being like, just read Caraval. All that led me listening to it on Spotify, and I gotta say, it was a little annoying. The first thing I need to complain about before I get into all the nitty gritty was the prose. Every single thought and feeling was attached to a metaphor. She felt sad, like the moment before the sun sets, or her feelings were blue, like the night sky, and it's just non-stop metaphors. I couldn't stand it. Also, everything was color-based. Like Scarlett sees colors in regards to feelings or whatever, but it was the most irrelevant thing, and it just so annoying. That's really what it was. It just kept coming up over and over and over again, and I was like, I do not care. A little bit is fine, but every other freaking word was a metaphor. I'm not even kidding. Like, start reading and you just immediately see it and it doesn't get any better. I will just give a disclaimer about this book and say, I guess I kind of see what people could like about it. Like, it wasn't awful, just really not for me, and I really think it was geared at like 12-year-olds. Teeny boppers. Is that still a word people use? Preteens. But like little kids, not children, but like on the cusp of teenagehood, and you want to feel older and cooler, and I think I would have liked this as a 12-year-old, but not now. It's not, and I don't not like young adult. I do enjoy young adult, but this was just too juvenile. Just for the fact that the characters were so boring and one-dimensional. Let me explain. Scarlett is not a fun main character. What makes a fun main character? Somebody I kind of want to be like a lot of times, right? You like see yourself in the main character, you're like, she's cool, she's fun, she's strong, she's smart, everybody loves her. Or a main character who is deep and complex and you want to get to know and has so many layers and you keep discovering more about them. So you might not want to be them, but they're interesting. Scarlet, though, she's got 2 brain cells and one is to escape her evil and abusive father. Could you stop, please? Excuse me. Excuse me, Mr. Bird. And fly. I am filming and you are bothering me. Gosh. The cons of filming outside. All right. Whatever. He wants to have a conversation. Let him have a conversation. Scarlet's other brain cell is being obsessed with her obnoxious little sister, Donatella. That is Scarlet's little sister. Yes, if you are thinking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now, that is all I could think the entire time. I hated her name. I literally have never even seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Never seen it, but I was like, why does this sound like a turtle from there? And afterwards I looked it up and there is literally a turtle named Donatello. It's like the weirdest name. I just really didn't like it. And she's not even like called DT for short, which I don't know. It's kind of like I'm liking the vibe of it. She's called Tella, which I don't know. Tell us something. Do you get what I'm saying? Tell her in a British accent? Okay, whatever. Donatella's supposed to be pretty, but I just can't stop picturing her as like an oversized turtle. And Donatella's a brat. Just saying. Super bratty little sister. And obnoxious. And their father is evil. Like, he beats his daughters. That's just peak evil. That's it. He's just evil. There's not really a backstory. Like, technically their mom left and he went crazy, but I don't know, shouldn't that just make you protect your daughters even more? There's like not really a feeling or explanation for what he does. So he kind of feels fake, like a story you're telling your little siblings when you're 10 years old. And he was evil. No reason. He just was. And everyone goes, yeah, that's a bad guy. Okay, and then there's Julian. And that's basically all the characters you need to worry about. Now, Julian was slightly interesting, if only for the fact that you can't really get a read on him. Whereas everyone else is just boring and one-dimensional. So that's the cast list we have to work with. Now, for the plot. Scarlet has one thing keeping her going throughout this entire book. And that's her marriage to a stranger who is also a count. Are you questioning the 2 brain cells right now? She's only marrying this count to get away from her evil father. See? Brain cell 1. Trying to escape her evil father. In fact, like, the first thing we see right away that, like, proves he's evil, he does this diabolical thing where whichever daughter breaks the rules, he beats up the other one, so they have to, like, feel guilty that the other person's getting beat up for them. So, like, at first, you don't realize this is gonna happen, but, like, they're both caught doing something bad, and they both start blaming each other. And you're just like, wow, these sisters are so mean to each other. Oh my gosh, they're just, like, trying to both get the other one in trouble. But then you realize, if the other one is in trouble, then you're the one that gets beat up. So they're both trying to take the beating for the other person, which was actually sweet, even if they were annoying and one-dimensional characters. So, like, Scarlet breaks his rules and then Donatella gets beat up. Sorry, I can't stop laughing at that name, Donatella. Just the weirdest name ever. And Scarlet is such a normal name also, and so is Julian. Like, is Donatella a name? Are people named Donatella? I'm so sorry for you if you are. Anyway, so she's beat up and she's for sure bruised. I don't know, how much do I want to get into the actual plot? Let's do one of my brief, nonsensical summaries so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. So Scarlet and Donatella live with their evil father. Their mother is missing. She just up and left them when they were younger, and Scarlet, as the older sister, took on the responsibility of raising Donatella to protect her from their evil father. She gets engaged to a guy that her father sets her up with, who she never met. She's not allowed to know his name. She just knows his account, and they exchange letters with each other. And she decides in his letters that he's good and kind because, I mean, he could be, but he's also just writing letters. I mean, anyone could be writing them. So we're a little wary of if he's actually good and kind, but she thinks he is. But there's another factor that the book also starts off with, and it's something called Caraval. It's like this giant game played in random spots around the world, I think, like a traveling circus. That's what I kept picturing it as, except once you get into it, you realize it's not a circus at all. I think I was confusing it with the night circus, because I have confused this book on many occasions with the night circus. It is not the night circus at all. No comparison whatsoever, which is, I was disappointed because I actually enjoyed the night circus. But back to the plot. Okay, so there's Caraval, and this Caraval is led by someone named Legend. Nobody's seen his face, nobody knows who he is. He's just like this mysterious figure who runs Caraval. But Scarlet's been writing him letters for years. She desperately wants him to come to her island because she knows she'll never be able to leave because her father's evil, and she really wants to see Caraval. Her grandmother told her stories about Caraval, and apparently she went when she was younger, so Scarlet's desperate to go. Wow, this is actually a very long, brief, nonsensical summary. Actually might make more sense than I wanted. All right, let's continue. Anyways, Carval gets announced, she gets an invitation, but she refuses to go because her wedding is too soon and her father will literally kill her. And then Donatella and this boy she just met, who Scarlett caught, like, making out with Donatella. She caught them making out, and they both hit her over the head and kidnap her and bring her to Carval. Now that's like, also, again, you are just such a sister. Like, that's what I just kept thinking the whole time. Like, you're scheming and hurting and like conniving your way behind her sister's back to get her to this place that you think she wants to go to. Like, I don't know. She just didn't seem like a very good person to me. Now, I've seen lots of people talk about like how whimsical the world of Carval is, what a like beautiful place, but I really don't think it was described that well at all. Like, I see what it's meant to be, but I felt like it was missing that fantastical element. I didn't feel it at all. I can't even describe it to you. It was so like, I don't know. I want to say vague, but also she very explicitly stated certain things, but I didn't, again, like, I wasn't immersed in the vibe at all. I was like watching it from the outside as like NPCs walk through a world on a screen kind of thing, which is not how I usually read books. I'm usually in the world. That was not this time. Oh, also, everything's through the eyes of Scarlett, who's just a whiny baby who keeps going on about Donatella, which, by the way, is a major factor because Donatella actually gets taken in the beginning, and the whole point of the game of Carval is for people to find her, and whoever finds her first wins one wish. But Scarlett's like, I need to find Donatella now, and we need to get off this island so I could go back and marry my count. But it makes no sense. Her motivations make no sense. Like, you escaped your father already. Play the game you so desperately want to play, and then escape with your sister. I never go back. Why marry this stranger who could be just as bad as your father? You don't actually know him. You never met him. You're not in love with him. It makes no sense. Her motivations make no sense. And this is where I have to take us back to the fact that this book is very YA. Like, young adult to the max. Emphasis on the young because everybody is just childish. Nothing really happens except Scarlett meets lots of people and she thinks Julian is so hot with so many muscles. And I'm so sick of like main character love interests having only muscles going for them. I just want to fall in love with a male main character who's not all about his rippling biceps and his muscly chest. It's just boring. Everything just feels like a copy paste of each other. But that's a video for another day. So yeah, eventually, you know, the whole thing ends. Julian gets killed. Donatella throws herself off a tower. A bunch of their other allies get killed as well. And then Scarlett tells her father and her ex-fiance to go away and she never wants to see them again. And they do. And then the game is over and everyone comes back to life. Literally. No, seriously. It was all a game. Nothing was real. Of course, there are rules of how people can get back to life again, but like everyone just does. So like, who cares what the rules are? Nothing mattered, and this was the most disappointing thing of all. Like, while I was reading, I kept thinking, juvenile, okay. I'm not obsessed with any of these characters, but I was waiting for a payoff. But no, it was just a boring ending. And everyone remained exactly the same. Donatella's still like a spoiled, bratty sister who you just detest. And as someone who loves her little sister, by the way, she is an embarrassment for little sisters everywhere. My little sister is awesome. And Scarlett doesn't change or grow up. She's exactly the same person. I mean, I guess she says go away to her father, but like, I don't know. It just felt really minor and anticlimactic. Like, she watched her sister die, who's like the only force in the world that she cares about, right? 2 brain cells, second one, all about her sister. So like, she tells her father to go away. Yay. Maybe the non-change is just a reflection of the reality of life, and nobody actually really changes or grows up, and you can't really expect people to become new people or become better people because we're all just like not really caring about becoming better people. But I doubt it. Overall, if you're 12, I would say you'll probably enjoy it. But if you need something with a little more like oomph, satisfaction, just read something else. That got super watery. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down. And let me know why in the comments. If you love this book, because there is a decent amount of people there who really love this book, tell me what you loved about it. If you want to just hate on it, then hate on it with me. And there are, by the way, I think it's a trilogy and there are 2 more books, and no, I will not be reading them. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you want to see more book rants, because that is what this channel is about. Books and rants and my opinion in video format. Thank you for watching. Did I say that already? I did say that already. The end.